Hello, welcome back. Letter number 5. There's not a whole bunch for me to talk about this month just because a lot of stuff is still kind of in the works and I don't want to give everything away. But what I can tell you is that the production of the EP is finished and we're currently mixing it, which means that it's hopefully not very long until I can start releasing. So I'm very excited for you to hear the songs. Started posting little sneaky snippets on Instagram and TikTok and stuff. So keep an eye out on those platforms if you want little teasers. I've also been in the Discord a bunch, sort of doing little Easter egg hunts and just general sort of Q&A stuff and getting to know you guys and having a space for you to all get to know each other as well. So if you're not in the Discord, you can join that down below. The most exciting part about May for me was that it marked 2 years since my debut EP, Melancholy, which is wild. I made that project in my bedroom when I was 18 and 19. I'd finished high school and didn't really know what I wanted to do. A lot of my friends were off to university and I was writing my songs, which were a lot of the time very sad songs. I noticed this pattern of sad songs and decided, why don't I just pick my favorites out of all these sad songs and put them in a project that's just like the sad EP, which is why I ended up calling it Melancholy, because I felt like that word just like summed up the feeling of those songs quite well. And at a time being completely self-managed and independent, there was just limitless ambition and drive to make this the best possible project that I could do at the time with the resources that I had. So I'm like looking back on it, you know, I've grown a lot since making that music. I can't say that I listen to the songs and I don't overanalyze them and critique them and go, I could have done this differently, I could have done this better, but it is what it is, and I'm very proud that I actually made it and did that at that time. And I also rewatched the short film that we made, which is crazy in itself as well, that we made a music video for each song. Like, that was something that I really wanted to do, and I'm forever grateful to my friend Andrew who helped shoot it and bring it all to life. It was like a huge process for both of us, just like learning and experimenting and just trying to make something that we felt was as good as it could be with very, very, very limited resources. Yeah, this last month being 2 years since that project came out, I guess I just want to say thank you for all the love that you've given it. It really means a lot that so many people connected with that project after all the work that went into it. Those songs will always have a really special place in my heart, and I hope they will in yours too. I thought it would be funny to actually like rewatch the Melancholy short film, and maybe I'll talk through it as we go through.
I've changed a lot in the last couple
The sound of the car
I've been doing a lot of thinking.
and my very dramatic intro. It's a funny story about that blue car actually in this film. I was trying to find someone that had a car that we could borrow for this, because my car looks like a piece of crap. And there was this guy living down the road from my house who I saw this blue car in his driveway, and I just like fully like wrote him a letter. And I was like, hey, like I live up the road. Can I use your car for a music video? And we went over, like ended up going over to his house. He got back to me on email. And I went to his house and like we had this full chat, and he was cool with it. Let us use his car. So shout out to Manny, what a legend. And here we are digging a hole to bury the light. It's this concept of the light, I've never actually really explained it. I think to me what it represents is like melancholy sounds very much like it's about sort of relationships ending and heartbreak and loneliness, but in my mind it was very much about this sort of breakup internally. The light represents like elements of my past or certain parts of myself that I was trying to run away from. It's about this whole idea that like to become whole you need to embrace all parts of yourself, and it was something that I was really thinking a lot about at the time, and I wanted the film to sort of represent that through this light that like even though I tried to bury it and get rid of it, it ends up following me around, and there's no escaping it kind of thing. So after Melancholy we end up back in my home. I'm like being all sad and singing my songs and reflecting on like all these past like friendship moments. But what I love about these shots actually with me in the bedroom is like there's always like a light present. I don't even think we intentionally did this, but like there's a bed, like a light in the background right next to me sitting down in the bed. It's sort of like, I feel like it's like foreshadowing this sort of light following me around, even though I think I've gotten rid of it at this point. And then unsaid, we've got the dramatic driving montage. Had to give this blue car its a moment. So we literally just drove around in like the bushland area. Kind of wanted to make it look like we were going in the middle of nowhere, and I was like, you know, metaphorically lost without this light. And I'm trying to move on and get away from it, but I'm just going around in circles. And then at the end of this video, the light appears on the road and I crash the car. And then I wake up in the middle of the desert So this was crazy to film. We actually ended up filming this like 4 times, I think. It was at some sand dunes a couple hours north of Sydney. That was like a 2.5 hour drive each way. And we went and shot it, I think, a couple times because every time we shot it, it just like didn't look how we wanted it to look. I think some of the footage might be from a couple of those times, but the last time we went, we ended up getting the best sort of takes. But yeah, we had the blood and everything. It was like this sort of like dream state or like purgatory space post car crash impact. My favorite shot though is this end, like the running towards the water, because it's like, you know, I'm meant to be lost in the middle of the desert, and then finally there's this light again, and I'm like realizing that I actually need this light back. And so there it is, like floating over the water, and the water being symbolic of like things being a bit out of control, and you're like, I don't want to lose this. Just a lot of visual metaphors. I'm crazy looking back at this. I'm proud of the work that went into it. Oh, and this end shot of Diamonds on the Water with the drone lying in the ocean, still one of my favorite shots we've ever made. We didn't shoot that at the same beach, but we wanted it to look like it was really, really deep, but it was actually only like a meter deep. I remember lying there being terrified that I was going to get eaten by a shark or something, but we did it in very shallow water for that reason. And yeah, at the end I wake back up and it's like I'm back where I started, where I buried that light originally, but it isn't there anymore. But then we remember that it's all a dream sequence, and I wake back up in the car crash, and there it is, the light. So yeah, I think I don't know. I'm really glad we did that, and yeah, like as I said, right now we're mixing the EP and planning the music videos. So hopefully it'll be in your hands very, very soon. Thanks for tuning in to this letter. I will also write you a letter if you're on the mailing list. You can sign up below if you'd like to read that. And yeah, let me know how your month was in the comments below or in the Discord, whichever you prefer. I'll chat to you soon and see you next month. Much love. I begin to melt a bit inside. Truth be told, I loved you all this time. Funny how it works when it feels right.